Be real.
Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Yeah, let's just be honest.
Let's just be real.
Shaun Murphy entering the arena to Disco Inferno, and every time he's been involved in this tournament, he's been the one who's
Shaun Murphy to break.
in a spin. Spinning out of the tournament straight away. 4 appearances, 4 first-round defeats, although against very quality opposition. Mark Selby, Marco Fu, Yan Bingtao, and last year against John Higgins, the eventual champion. Can he break the Ricoh Arena hoodoo?
Yeah, today up against Mark King, who scored a famous win last year. The Northern Ireland Trophy, the Alex Higgins Trophy. His first event in his career. Hugely popular win, Phil.
Well, I always think that that story was bracketed with Hamilton winning in Germany, and of course we know what Hamilton did yesterday. Can King do the same here today and get to the semi-finals? Tough task. Murphy and White blocking his path.
Yeah, well, the thing with Mark King and obviously Anthony Hamilton, they're kind of on a free roll in this tournament. It's a tournament that maybe we're not expected to be in, so nothing to lose, but it's very difficult to adopt that attitude when you're actually at the table, because you can't play as if you've got nothing to lose. It's important for them just to enjoy the event.
Yes, and throughout their careers, for them to turn up and know they're on £12,500 guaranteed, that's a liberating thing also. Jill was right, correct, to say that Mark King has won only one of his 8 previous meetings with Shaun Murphy, but quite importantly, that was their most recent encounter in the 3rd round of last year's China Open. On occasions, Murphy's produced brilliant snooker against him. Most notably, 2nd round of the Welsh Open in 2009 when he won 5-2, aided by a hat-trick of centuries.
Yeah, what Mark King can do today is he can spoil this game. That's what he does. He's not the heaviest scorer in World Snooker by any means. And Shaun Murphy, as we know, likes to get in pot-long balls, clear the table. And Mark King can sometimes be a bit of a spoiler, and that could work to his advantage today. Knock Shaun out of his rhythm. Try and take advantage.
I've been chatting to Shaun quite a bit backstage before this match. He seems very relaxed and up for it. He was joking that You might expect to be back by tea time if past results in this tournament are anything to go by, but deep down, you know, he wants to put together a deep run into the tournament. And he's that kind of player. If he starts to play at peak efficiency, he can be dynamite.
Tempter, one below the pink to left middle, is available. Possibly red, that's above the black, in between the black and the pack available. That's the one he's looking at. It never takes long in a safety battle before Shaun's tempted by something. Couldn't get much closer.
Well, as the red was going towards the pocket, he must have suspected it was going to fall in, especially at that pace.
Well, it's completely mishit that. And the first decent opportunity falls to Mark King.
One.
Not a bad little opportunity just to get his arm going, get his arm moving, get his cue action in the groove. You know, 4 or 5 nicely open reds. Doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. That wasn't the smoothest delivery. That's why the cue ball's gone an inch or two too low in this red. Still no problem.
5.
But that's what I mean. Just needs a few shots just to get his arm moving.
Six.
Now that's
9.
Mark King's biggest supporter and most loyal supporter, Bill King, his father. 84 years of age now, Bill. He's been on the circuit. An absolute fixture for years.
Yep. 10.
Yeah, as we said, when Mark won that trophy in Northern Ireland, I was almost as happy for Bill as I was for Mark.
Okay.
Looking at these two, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, did it?
Just got to judge this little cannon. Just wanted a fuller contact on the red after potting the pink. To leave a straight red to the right corner. Because he kissed it half ball, that's why cue balls
60.
ended up going too far to the right hand side of the table. Watch as the pink goes in. Watch outside of those 3 reds, and he wants to cannon that full ball. Just catches it half ball.
Extended small.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. 17.
Might as well look at the yellow and the blue.
Yellow ball.
It's a tester earlier on. Oh, he's refusing it.
Marking 17.
So I mean, he'll keep this game pretty tight this afternoon with Mark King. He won't take many risks. That's how dangerous opponent Shaun Murphy is when he gets going.
Well, that wasn't what Murphy wanted in terms of the red coming back towards bulk. In the end, the blue came to his assistance in a big way. I just wonder, is this going to be a pattern? King being patient and reaping the rewards, just picking up the pieces.
No, there's no doubt Shaun will know exactly what type of game he's in for, and the important thing for Shaun's aspect is to keep his patience. Not trying to be too desperate to get the frames killed off in one visit. That was nicely played. Had to really get into the cue ball there. Also bottom right hand side.
Eight.
And sometimes it's easy to become frustrated when you're playing players like Mark King, who perhaps don't win many frames in one visit. Maybe they lose their cue ball, but they just keep potting. You're sat in your chair, just frustration can creep in. You don't keep that patience and that focus.
He's one of those players, Steve, and I think you'll agree, he just finds a way, doesn't he? Always has done. He's had lots of big-name
14.
scalps over the years. When you think he played in his first ranking event final 20 years ago now, 1997 at the Welsh Open. Lost 9-2 to a bloke called Hendry.
$15.
Still have a pretty decent angle in the brown to come off the left-hand side cushion, go into the bunch. Don't think there's any value playing for that one loose red on the right-hand side of the table. So just off, just before, maybe a foot before the middle pocket, a touch of left-hand side. And you got into the cue ball too much. Went up the table too far on the cushion. You could have a second prize. Did not play for this.
90.
Looks from the angle we've got that it goes into the right middle. It's very tight. He's got the yellow if he was to drop it in dead weight. So you can play the yellow.
20.
Baulk cushion, left hand side cushion, and into the bunch. Again, if it hits that side cushion about a foot before the middle pocket. This time he did the opposite. Hit the cushion too far up.
22.
Well, thankfully for Shaun Murphy's sanity, the red doesn't go at the bottom of the pack.
Marking 22.
But King inching ahead. It's a very useful lead. Struck that really well, much like the red he missed to the middle pocket very early in the frame. But just caught too much of that near jaw, and now King might well be in to win. Frame one, that is.
Thanks. 1.
Not ideal.
7.
Again, 3-4 inches short with the cue ball.
Thank you. Mark King, 7.
Not sure about that one.
One.
Now, after doing all the hard work, Mark King in this frame to develop a 46-point lead, he's almost gone second favourite.
Bramble.
Yes, the black is semi-awkward, but Murphy doesn't need it.
5. Six. Twelve. 13.
Has he gone far enough? Looking at his body language, he hasn't. Big mistake.
19.
That's why I said almost gone favourite, because you've always got to leave room for a careless positional shot like that. He'll be furious inside, Shaun Murphy.
Over a minute taken on this shot. I think it reflects the fact it's one of those that has plenty of options, and also he knows the importance of it.
Shaun Murphy,
Well,
90.
well thought and very well executed.
Yeah, clever shot in the end. He couldn't play the conventional way off the red because he would be putting the red over that right corner pocket. So I had to sacrifice putting the black up the other end of the table, but it was worth it. Although he has left a shot to nothing here.
Well, now the scruffier the table, the better it is for King, and that's why the yellow, going where it has done, is of benefit to him.
You have to say if the frames go like this, you might fancy Mark King winning them more often than not. We've got one colour on its spot. 3 reds left. Not the type of frame Shaun Murphy is renowned for winning many of, as was myself. I'd much rather be in making big breaks than winning frames in one visit. This red's close.
Well, it's unmissable now. The gap is there. Murphy's emotion in this frame has got to be frustration with the way everything's gone. Even when he got the chance to clear up, he played that poor positional shot.
It was careless though, wasn't it, to put that red anywhere near that corner pocket.
1.
Mark King's basically played a kind of hit and hope shot there, but he's ended on a choice. Looks like the brown's the one he's going to take. Just to miss the contact on the yellow. Oh. Took his eye off the pot.
Mark King. 1.
Well, that's 4 chances and the frame is yet to be wrapped up.
One. Eight. Shaun Murphy.
Another
8.
touch of the nears. That's 3 pots. He's been so close to getting.
How important is that 20-point lead going to be? Tempter. Oh, this looks excellent. Brilliant shot from Mark King. Really was. Not the easiest red to hit, and there's a bit of room around the back of it as well. It would have been a lot better if it was closer to the cushion. So difficult to hit, and then if you do hit it, can you keep it safe?
Foul. And a miss.
Well, in the end, he played it
Mark
with a
King
lot
5.
of screw in the cue ball to square the angle. He felt the natural angle wasn't there to hit the red.
Can you get it on the screen at all, Mike? There?
Brendan Moore, for all of his vast experience, needing to take a look at the video evidence, the screen. That's why he's asking Micah Kessler, his marker,
If you can help.
whether they can have some kind of screen capture of where the blue was.
Yeah, this is going to be important because I said it wasn't a natural angle for Shaun Murphy. You had to play it with a lot of bottom in the cue ball. The red's obviously got to be placed, as we
Can you see
mentioned
it?
before.
You
There
don't
was a
have
lot
it.
of room behind it.
Did the yellow move?
No, I think yellow moved.
The blue was near to where you had it because I I was trying to bend it round.
Yeah. And I know it was more or less a couple of balls from up there. Up there a bit more.
I mean, I've just played the black from here. And,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Yeah.
the black went
Black
just
was dead
past.
straight, wasn't it?
It went just past the blue. So.
Yeah.
Right. But I haven't put the red back.
Brendan's
where it
getting
should be
everyone's
yet.
help.
No.
Micah Kessler, the two
Um,
players.
Well, she's not
Exactly
got
where the red
the
was.
pictures we've got, so
You've
if you're watching
it's
this
hit
at
that and come
home, you
off
know
here.
where the blue is.
This
Myself and Stephen do,
Was it far off?
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it was like,
the two players and the ref, I don't think they're quite aware.
I think it was further out near the green, just more towards the green.
Yeah, so quite obviously the blue is halfway as close to the brown spot as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Or halfway further
So-
away, I should say.
red's more this way.
She hasn't got it on the screen. This way. That makes it a bit harder coming round there now, though, doesn't it? Do you have it on your camera there? Do you have it?
I couldn't go
Yeah.
that way.
They have it on the screen here.
Now we're able to use our technology. One of our cameramen on the floor is showing the referee
Go back to
where the
it was down.
balls were, and this will be invaluable
Oh,
for
so
him.
it's in and over. Yeah.
Yeah, the Reds needs to move a little bit towards the right corner pocket as well.
It's
Maybe
just
half an
off
inch.
the line, the blue. And it's a little bit in. What about the white and the red?
So far.
Red's more or less. Do the blue again for me. So the blue is in a little bit.
You've done this before?
Doesn't look like it, does it?
It's pretty close now.
I can't be far off now. Is that about right now?
Poor old Brendan, he's wearing out the carpet walking backwards and forwards to this camera.
And where we were? No, not me on the screen. Shaun, do you want to look at this? It looks pretty close to on this screen now.
Has it got the white line on it?
Again?
To be fair, when you look at where the balls are, I don't
Oh, the
I
blue
don't know if the
fraction.
shot's on that Shaun Murphy's playing. He's playing with bottom in the cue ball. Is he going in between brown and green?
About right now?
Just go back.
Go back again.
If anything, the
And
red
the shot's
needs to
only
come in
could
and
play
touch,
off
but
3 cushions and land underneath the red.
Do it
Hit
again.
the bulk cushion first and just land dead
go a
weight on the
little
red.
bit in.
It's a tough shot, but this shot you can leave the free ball.
Are you saying that way?
If you miss the red, you hit the red. It's very difficult to get safe.
Well, I'll tell you something
just
that's
fractions
very
now,
interesting.
isn't it?
They've stopped the frame clock. It's been stopped at almost 31 minutes. For the entire duration of this, I thought always that when you had an incident like this, that was part of the frame.
We're nearly getting there.
I
Okay.
say these are just fractions now. It doesn't really make much difference to the shot that Shaun Murphy's going to play.
You happy there?
No
Playing from there,
advantage
yeah?
or disadvantage gained either way.
Thanks.
I say left side cushion, right side cushion, and then bulk cushion. 3 cushions to lie underneath the red would be my choice. That's what he's looking at now. He's still looking at the 1 cushion escape, I think, to hit the red first. Oh no, he is going this way. I think. Yeah, that was always the shot.
Foul and a miss. Mark Kingfoot.
Well, just one ball to be replaced this time. Thankfully for Brendan.
I wouldn't expect Shaun to miss it this time. He pretty much knows exactly where he's going to hit it.
Mark. Foul and a miss.
Oh, he was so close when he played it dead weight. Why not just play the same shot again?
Mark Kingfoot. Yeah.
And now, facing a 33-point deficit, Murphy has to hit the red this time. Otherwise,
Mark.
he will need a snooker.
Well, I think it's fair to say we'd be happy with that result, though.
If Willie Thorne had laid that snooker and you'd done that to him, Stephen, he'd been internally combusting now. That was an extraordinary piece of good fortune for Murphy, and it could be a frame turner.
Shaun needs at least pink or black to win. He's 33 behind now. Can Mark King find the snooker back? Oh,
Foul and miss.
this frame is turning now. That
Shaun
could be a
Murphy.
turning point in this match. Never mind this frame.
You need to have a look.
Come and have a look from that end when I've done this.
One of the great assets of a world-class referee, of course, which Brendan Moore is the ability to be both deep in concentration while also not looking flustered,
So the yellow nearer to the red then.
handling all of this pretty well.
Do you have a look at that one?
Yellow is probably this way more, a bit more.
More that way?
Yeah. Because it.
Because you just flicked it, to be fair, didn't you?
Well, the
So it
white
must be sticking
is
out a little bit,
not
'cause you can see
where
off
it
that
should
way.
be.
I just missed the green.
Yeah, yeah.
Click the yellow. No, that looks.
On what? The white.
And the wider the angle for the cue ball, the better it is for King. An easier
Haven't got
escape
on the big
angle.
screen, only on this one. Oh, so it's further over here. So the yellow and red are right, it's just the white over here. Yeah? Okay.
That's better.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks. Leave it up.
Red safe, brown not close to a cushion. King will readily settle for that. Well, a nice 36-minute frame to open with, Stephen. And still a lot of snooker left. It's actually a lengthier frame than 36 minutes because, as I said, when there was the lengthy debate about the previous snooker, the frame clock was stopped, so it's nearer 40 minutes.
Foul. Mark King, 6.
Well, that's really expensive. 35 points the difference now,
Free ball.
35 on the table, so the best Murphy can do without recourse to penalty points
Green ball.
is to force a respotted black. But of course he's left a free ball, so if King pots this, it should be 1-0. These two have got previous when it comes to playing lengthy frames. Murphy held the world record for the lengthiest frame in professional snooker history for a while. A real marathon it was against Dave Harold. As for Mark King, well, he was involved in the lengthiest frame at the Crucible. 2009 against Stephen Maguire, it went on for 75 minutes. Oh, but I think that just sums up the frame for Murphy. He's given it his best, but nothing has gone right.
Two. Five. Marking five. And the first frame.
No fluency to speak of. Mark King's highest break in winning that frame, a mere 22, but he got the job done after 39 minutes. First blood is drawn slowly. Arena here in Coventry in the West Midlands of England. Mark King has made an agreeable start against Shaun Murphy, 1-0 ahead. If you're just joining our coverage today, I can tell you we've got one result in the books already. Michael White played very nicely to defeat Marco Fu 4-3. So White in tonight's quarter-final awaits the winner of this. And if the length of the first frame is repeated and it goes the distance, White's wait will be lengthy.
That's another something that Shaun's going to keep his frustration intact. He would have been entitled to think, as Mark King went for that red, missed it, got the double kiss, could possibly have an easy opener. But no, nothing.
It's actually an art form, isn't it? To turn frustration into motivation. On many occasions during your career, Stephen, I know you did that. It got you fired up.
Yeah, the danger in Shaun Murphy's case is you try and get in early in a frame to win it early, to stop it going scrappy. And you put yourself under pressure to maybe take a risk, or when you do go for a long ball, you put yourself under pressure to get it. Somehow you just knew the green was going to come to the rescue there.
It's actually worked out to be a really troublesome safety for Murphy. No obvious route back to balk without taking big risks.
Yeah, that may have looked a terrible shot on screen, but I wanted to have full contact on the second red and leave that cue ball in the, maybe around about the jaws of the pocket. Again, it's Mark King, first opportunity.
One.
Poor shot. Played for pink to right middle.
Brown ball. Mark King one.
It's absolutely crystal clear, and you can't blame him in the slightest. He is playing the patience game, King, as Stephen Hendry suggested he would right at the start of the match. It's working so far.
Yeah, I think he's playing the only way he knows how. I think he knows that he can get to Shaun Murphy. The red closest to the right corner does pop. He's going to be making contact with the red to the left of it, so it's all about how much of that red he's going to hit and bring the cue ball back up the table. I think he was planning for a bit thicker contact on the red.
One. Green ball. Shaun Murphy one.
That was a much better shot than it looked, because on these superfine match cloths, a real delicate touch is required to nestle a cue ball in behind a ball colour like that. Especially when there's a reasonable distance between white and object ball, as there was there.
One.
Now then, Murphy's first clear-cut scoring chance early in a frame. Yes, he had the opportunity to perhaps clear up in frame one, made only 19 before botching position. Here, though, a position of promise.
Six.
Applied a touch
Seven.
of side on that. Important to pot that red because it frees up the black to both of its natural pockets.
$12. Switch it off, please.
Someone's phone is ringing. And it's still ringing.
$30. $20. $21.
Shaun Murphy's cue action is a thing of beauty. Technically,
28.
he looks $1 million. Delivers the cue so well. That pause at the back of the backswing. More often than not, he hits the white sweetly. And that's why you can get so much action on it if required.
$29. $36. $37.
Well, the pressure ball coming up now if he takes on the black. The frame could rest on this.
This is a tough shot. Oh, brilliant. That is brilliant. But he's being so unlucky. Unless he's got a chance of a plan. But that's his... Can't tell you how difficult
44.
that is to... The cueing required to play it like that. Made it look easy. Does strike the cue ball with authority, doesn't he, Shaun Murphy?
Well, you know the old cliche, fortune favours the brave. It didn't there.
Yeah, he's just concentrating 100% the pot, thinking he's just bound to be on something. Very unfortunate. He's down to take this plant on, he really is. I'm going to see how much he's going to have to play. Yeah, it's quite a big allowance from the first red onto the next. I bet if he was 1-0 up, Phil, he'd have taken the plant on. No, best of 7, he's only go 2-0 down. That's very
Wow.
careless.
Shaun Murphy 44. Marking 4.
He's having a hard look at the cushion. Thinks it came off quite a square angle.
Murphy walking around the table tells us the cue ball will go past the pink, and he's got the potting angle on here. Yeah, there it is. And this time he gets
1.
some positional good fortune. And from here, really, it should be level terms.
Seven. Eight.
He's never been a ponderous player, Stephen, but I think
14.
in this match, when he's been scoring, he seems to be running around the table.
50.
Yeah, it's normally a sign of how confident the player is, how well he thinks he's playing. Normally, you start to get a bit bogged down if you're not as confident, but you're certainly not wasting any time when you're playing the
22.
balls.
23.
Possibly feels he can do the opposite to what Mark King will try to do to him. He's trying to put Mark King out of his rhythm by speeding the game up. That is very good to watch.
30.
Excellent cueist.
31.
First known, of course, for winning the 2005 World Championship as
38.
a qualifier. What a story
39.
that was. Now, that was just a few years after he'd made his debut at the Crucible against you. And I think it was obvious then he was going to be something special. Turned professional, got special
45.
dispensation to do so at the age of 15.
46.
So even though he's been a pro for 20 years, he's still only 35.
51. 53. 56.
1 example of his rest play. He is the best rest player in the world, bar none, in my opinion.
60.
Cues them exactly the same way as he cues when he's got the cue in his hand.
$65.
A tremendous
71.
example without camera in the pocket there of just how straight Murphy's cue action is. Very good
78
stuff
in the frame.
from Shaun Murphy.
Just got
Brogues
through
of
there.
44 and 78. The scores are all tied here. 1-1. And I think Murphy will be delighted to have pulled back to 1-1 because the first frame was an unrelenting source of frustration for him. It's a race to 4, this best of 7, with the winner to play Michael White in the quarterfinals this evening. And Stephen, he's been there, done that worn the T-shirt, hasn't he, Shaun Murphy? A Triple Crown winner. That means he's won the World Championship, the UK and the Masters. And to do that, you've got to be right at the pinnacle of the sport.
Thank you. The third frame. Shaun Murphy to break.
Yeah, so we watched Shaun Murphy break off. Yes, he has won everything that's big in the game, but I still think it's fair to say, with his talent, he has underachieved in his career. I think he could, if I was to criticise, I think maybe a little bit more of a mean streak and winning the big events. His concentration has sometimes let him down. So yeah, with his talent, he's got every shot in the book. In my opinion, he should have won more.
Well, already this season, he's had 2 great chances to add to his ranking title total. He's won 7 ranking events. It should have been 9 in many people's view. But in the space of a single week, he lost in 2 ranking event finals. Beaten by Luca Brissell in the final of the China Championship in Guangzhou in China. And then he went straight to the Paul Hunter Classic and lost in the final there. Very interestingly, considering the dynamic of the draw here, he lost in the final to Michael White.
He can't do it here, I don't think, but I think a good tactic for Shaun Murphy in these, for early safety exchanges and frames, is to try and get the reds open. Play the game to his strengths. That was well played. It's kind of forced Mark King into taking this red on. Well, he done well there, Mark King, to get that cue ball back there to the bulk end. Again, looks like he may be forced into taking this red to the left of the blue on. Maybe screwing the cue ball back to bulk for safety. Well, you see, when you look down the line of it where he was aiming, it looked like he was aiming, you know, the wrong side of the red. And then obviously he brings the cue round a corner, as it were. It didn't strike it well at all.
One. Four. Five. Eight. Nine.
Well, not only is he not on a colour, he's left himself really awkward bridging over the bunch.
Pink ball.
That was a big ball to go for, wasn't it?
Shaun Murphy 9.
I can understand that he wants to be aggressive, but there's a fine dividing line between being aggressive and overly risky.
One. Seven.
I think it's obvious to say that Mark King has any aspirations of winning this match. These are the chances he's got to take.
Eight.
He's going to try and keep tight control of that cue ball. Look where the reds are. It doesn't have to do a lot. The cue ball shouldn't have to travel very far at all. 4 reds below the pink spot. Something's going to have to be done to break them open.
14.
But this is a good opportunity.
$15.
Got a glimpse there of the tip on Mark King's cue. He's few players that like to do that. Not so much as there used to be, but
21.
has the tip overhanging the ferrule. He likes to be able to see the tip at the end of the cue when he's queuing up.
Thanks.
One of your regular
20.
adversaries used to do that, John Parrott. Had a very big Q-tip. And when he was playing off cushions, he was absolutely mustard.
So after this red, the problems start.
28.
If you can get low in the black, obviously the ideal red to clip would be the one to the extreme edge of the right hand side of 3 that are in a line. Obviously couldn't get low in the black. What sort of angle has he got?
29.
Got an angle in the pink. Maybe able to drop behind the red that's near the left hand side centre pocket. I don't think the red to the right of the 4 will pot to right corner. Doesn't want to be straight on this red.
35.
Ideally I'd like to this red with a bit of pace and try and land high on the pink. So it's just a matter of potting the pink into the right corner and just putting the cue ball into those 4 reds. The middle one, those 4. Oh, took his eye off the pot.
Mark King.
Just concentrating so
35.
much on getting the correct angle on the pink. You forgot about the pot.
Now we've been talking about how brilliant Murphy is when using the rest. Can he deliver here?
That really is a stunning shot. It really is.
1. Six.
No path through to the red he wanted to pot. That would have been a real bonus to find the gap.
Shaun Murphy, 6.
Well, he knew he hit that well. But it seems every time Shaun Murphy does take a slightly risky pot on, when he misses it, he seems to stick it up.
One.
That's clumsy.
Mark King, 1.
21 in front. Blue safe, yellow safe.
That's a shocker. Just screw the cue ball back towards the baulk cushion. And just, well, butchered this, to be fair.
One.
And with that silky cue action, he makes that shot look so easy. Held the cue ball with the minimum of effort.
Eight.
Now, he suffered a
9.
kick there before the start of the match. Shaun was telling me that he's been using this new circular chalk out of Finland since the second round of the Indian Open, and he said, I honestly can tell you I've not had a kick since then. So that's the first. Perhaps he was tempting fate.
12.
the chalk filled? I think it's
30.
£15 a block. Wouldn't get me paying that for chalk.
$19.
Lots and lots of players are converted to it, though they swear by it. And again, another illustration that Rest and Murphy
20.
work like one. An extension to the arm. And so just a short while after Mark King purposely put the yellow safe, I think Shaun Murphy is contemplating getting it back into open play.
Yeah, there's no value in potting green or brown here, really. Well, I suppose he could pot green or brown, then come around and snooker, play a snooker on the red, leave the cue ball behind the black if he doesn't get on the red properly. Now, has he got the angle to play the red? Leave the white behind the black, send the red up the table
24.
and take that yellow off the cushion in the same shot. That's what he's played for. No. Well, he's
Shaun
gained the
Murphy,
advantage, there's no
24.
doubt about it, but I still thought possibly taking yellow off the cushion was the way to go there. Previous shot.
He will settle for that king all day, every day.
Goes back to his chair, shaking his head, but I think the mistake was made 2 or 3 shots ago. Could have brought the yellow into the open, the cue ball and the baulk cushion.
One. Four. Marking 4.
So both players going to need that awkward blue in winning this third frame. A bit of mileage yet. It's going to come down to who's got the tightest safety game. It's all about getting the object ball safe now. Cue ball, advantage of getting the cue ball good as well, but just make sure you don't leave the pot on. Well, I've seen 2 or 3 examples already this afternoon. Mark King, when he's had to play something at a bit of pace, he's struggled. So he might not even take this yellow on. Maybe A lot of professionals in the game that would have played that yellow. Potted it, screwed up the table for the green. I think Shaun Murphy would have taken it on.
Thank you. Thanks, Shaun. Thank you.
Has the yellow travelled just far enough? Murphy will be relieved with that. Well, I think on balance, Murphy hasn't had the best run of the ball so far in this match, so maybe that's a touch of karma kicking in.
We did play the shot behind the brown. Pacey played it. They're a free ball. No, if there's an in off.
Foul, the miss. Shaun Murphy 4. Free ball.
I think if he could get his hand on the table, the cue ball's in the middle of the table, it'd be value playing a safety off the blue. Maybe taking the cue ball back towards the green pocket, get the blue in the open, but he couldn't play that, so replacing the cue ball.
Wipes closer to the brown.
Bit nearer. All right.
Still think it's closer to the brown.
Yeah.
Do I make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it that near?
Yeah.
You got it on there?
Yeah, 'cause I sort of asked him straight away, didn't
It's not that easy though, is it? It's not that easy though, is it?
Well, it was like I couldn't see
It can't be that easy. It's got to be.
Oh, not now, son. Is that enough?
Okay.
I think that's almost bang on the original position. Well, he's earning his corn today, Brendan. Mr. Moore. Sheffield Wednesday fan, delighted with their win over Arsenal at the weekend. Arsenal? Aston Villa, I mean. Why did I say Arsenal?
Foul. Miss. Shaun Murphy 6.
And I think the exercise is about to be repeated.
Black wasn't on its spot, was it?
So now,
I don't think the black was
Shaun
on its
Murphy.
spot. I don't think the black was on its spot.
Needs
'Cause
just
it
yellow,
wasn't
green and
before,
brown
it's
to
not
go
been
18
potted
ahead
for a
waiting
while.
on the table. So one more foul
It
here.
wasn't earlier on, and it's not been potted
I
for
mean,
a while.
you won't
I'm
need
pretty
that
sure
tricky
the black's
blue.
not on its spot.
He wants to make sure he hits the yellow this time.
I'll put it on the spot if you want, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. There. Yeah?
Is that not on the spot then?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he's just said that it's right there like that.
Yes, I can see like here. Because either way, I could have bent it round that way or that way.
Well, I've just said I think Brendan's earning his corn. I think our cameramen are deserving of a consultancy fee.
He's got to come this way a bit. Shaun, you okay?
It wasn't a straightforward pot, that, but I'm surprised he missed it. King, no doubt, pleasantly surprised.
Fantastic shot. Very well done. Very well thought out. And a lot of room through this gap.
If you need a new button on your shirt, Stephen, get him to thread the needle.
Now, how brave is Mark King? He fancy this yellow down the cushion. The blue's potable now. It could be frame ball. He can play in such a way that should he miss it, it can come away from the cushion and end up halfway along the baulk cushion. Just like that.
The first frame was 41 minutes. This one just over the half-hour mark. And plenty of snooker left. It would seem the one beneficiary of this is Michael White, because he's putting his feet up metaphorically. These two, well, they might not have any rest time between matches.
They're behind black, they've got second prize. No problem. And the yellow again, it's safe. Oh, he's not the green save. I've got the snooker back. What do you do against that? Not a lot.
You'd be looking like thunder now, Stephen.
Yeah, inside. You're boiling. You can't show it outwardly. Inside, you're not happy at all. I just don't know, you just get the sense this frame slipping away from Shaun Murphy. Oh, maybe it's his turn to get a bit of good fortune.
Couldn't see a way of potting the yellow and getting on the green. And this snooker might be useful.
Got Brent, yeah?
Yep. Two.
First ball potted for 15 minutes.
Shaun Murphy, 2.
From here, Mark King needs all 5 colours. Murphy needs 3.
Tempted by this double? He is. Always a dodgy shots them. You miss it. The positive idea where the cue ball's going, or the object ball I should say. It's worth the risk. Again, not a fantastic cue ball, but just making sure the object ball was safe. This frame is going to come down to just one mistake now. And is this green close? It is.
3.
Well, it's going to take some shot to get position on the blue to that left centre pocket. If we can screw the cue ball to somewhere where the head of the rest is, he could be tempted to play the double in the blue to the opposite middle pocket. And get the cue ball back to there. Threw himself at that, I'm afraid.
Mark King.
I think he's left
3.
it.
Murphy leads by 8 points, so brown and blue will do.
Four.
Horrible little shot, this. Cut back into a blind pocket. And that's why he's gone to bulk.
Shaun Murphy 4.
And again, just concentrating on the object ball being safe. So you know you're always going to get another shot.
Five. Mark King 5.
Well, Mark King's fluked to green. Put his hand up there, meaning he fluked to blue. So he's fluking his way to this third frame. Fell at the moment. Excellent shot from Shaun Murphy. Not only the object ball safe, the cue ball very close to that baulk cushion. This is tough. And Shaun only needs the pink.
Well, silence, but that was a tremendous shot. Yeah, the applause delayed. Very deserved. Beautiful contact.
And again, 3 top quality safety shots in a row there. Cushion first, pink into left middle, Phil.
Well, that's the way the frame's gone, certainly on the colours. 83% safety success rate for both players. And at the end of this frame, they've been excellent in that department. No, not the snooker. It is, you know.
Well, at first I thought I got the pocket wrong. Going towards the yellow pocket.
I'm really sorry.
Shaun Murphy's having a laughing joke, but he's not laughing inside. Tremendous run of the ball there from Mark King.
Yeah.
You almost think, well, what was the point of me playing a good safety shot if that's going to happen?
It's not just a snooker, it's a cracking snooker. And also, of course, most pertinently, a fluked snooker. You just knew he was going to do it. Right round the back of the pink.
And this. Mark King, 6.
The gap was small, but he found it.
Yeah.
Now you might think, why is he having the cue ball put back? Well, the pot on the pink itself is relatively simple, but he needs the black in addition. And position from pink to black, anything but simple.
Yeah. Foul. Miss. Mark King, 6.
And now King only needs the most elementary of pinks to take a 2-1 lead.
6.
He was
Frame.
absolutely blessed on the colours. Fluke on green, fluke on blue, fluke snooker on the pink. Shaun Murphy must be wondering what he's done to deserve it. He's 2-1 down. Time it took to complete them, 41 and 43 minutes respectively. Mark King is not complaining though, because he leads Shaun Murphy by 2 frames to 1.
I still think it was a wrong shot choice that cost Shaun Murphy that frame when he could have played a safety, bringing the yellow out. Snookered Mark behind the last red, which was behind the black. He chose to pot the baulk colour and place snooker off the red. From then on, never really got the advantage. Or when he did, Mark King either fluked a ball or fluked a snooker. But I think that was definitely the wrong choice of shot then. Sometimes the balls don't forgive you. And a best of 7, that can be a big problem.
Well, even Mark King was a little sheepish at the end of that frame. He realised he'd had a golden run on the colours. Nothing lucky about that, though. That was beautifully struck.
8. Nine.
Well, for this to be a good opportunity to make a frame win and break, he really needs that black and 2 reds disturbed.
$14.
Doesn't look like the pink will go in its own spot. Who plays for the pink?
$50.
Just got past being straight on the blue. If there's an angle, he could play topspin off the side cushion. We'll touch the left hand side, disturb those 2 reds and black here. He tries to go into the main bunch, which it was always going to be hard to generate the amount of speed on the cue ball to bring any reds out.
20. Mark King, 20.
Missed the red, but didn't leave it. The yellow his friend this time. Well, the ball's in very inviting positions now. You get the impression the first player in could make plenty. I'll revise that slightly. Should make plenty. Well, this time it's Murphy's turn to be extremely fortunate. The luck pendulum swung wildly there. Over 15 minutes since he spotted a ball, Murphy. Restricted, irritated, kept quiet. Would love to get in and get that cue arm going. A couple of options, but clearly nothing he fancies. "70 seconds shot time and counting."
Foul.
And the worst
Foul,
possible
King, 6.
outcome. Pink in, red's left. Well, before the match, there was a lot of talk about Shaun Murphy's champion of champions jinx. I'm beginning to think it might exist.
1.
Murphy's one of only 5 players since this tournament's inception in 2013 to play in all of them. The others being John
6.
Higgins, Neil Robertson, Mark Selby and Judd Trump. It's remarkable he's never won a match in this event, and maybe that run will continue.
Seven.
Just in the rest, please.
Yep.
Well, is he on anything? And that black gets respotted. I think he's going to come round and find that he's going to have to play, well, either the red next to the blue to the right middle.
14.
So it's a very disappointing end to this break. Look at where the reds are. He should be 3-1 up. The red to the right of blue does cut to the right middle. You're going to lose the cue ball. He's trusting a bit to luck for position. He will definitely settle for that.
15.
There was an element of luck, but he played it well. Played at a good pace. Allowed the cue ball to come, you know, up and down the table twice. So back in perfect position.
Mark King. 15.
Potentially tie turning at this level, unforgivable. Nothing to do with the cue ball particularly. That was just a stock shot. Glaring mistake. Pressure induced.
One.
Shaun's having a smile to himself. He's thinking he'd play that another 100 times, he wouldn't finish straight in the blue. Reds both end of the table. Angle either way would be good. Absolutely dead straight.
Six. Seven.
Really got to dig in now, Shaun Murphy. Needs concentration. Cued that nicely.
$12. Thank you. 13.
Almost overcut the blue there. That's why the cue ball travelled a little more than he wanted it.
18. $19.
I'd love to play for the red. It's to the left corner here. You obviously got a choice of one either side, but I think that's the one I'd want to play, because then the red that he's looking at to the right corner, he could play for the
24.
black. So this is a red to get rid of first.
$25.
Again, not having perfect control of that cue ball. Lovely shot. Cued that very well. You see the cue ball pick up pace after it made contact with the green, the
28.
top spin. It's perfectly timed.
Yes, and given his ability with the rest, which we've highlighted already, this one pretty much a gimme. Mind you, the position of other balls means he's stretching a little awkwardly, hence the need for the extension on the back of the cue.
Yeah, if he can pot this red and the two reds this end of the table, even if he doesn't get perfect on the red and the baulk cushion, he can play a snooker, an easy snooker, with the cue ball behind the brown. So just concentrate. He's not perfect again, but I think he can drop the blue in
29.
and stay on the red closest to the right corner. He doesn't want to get drawn into another frame scrapping around the colours. Is the blue going to reach? Yeah, just.
$34. $35.
Did well to hold the white like that, but still not ideal.
42.
Having to knock in a succession of tough ones.
$43.
Yeah, so he can play for position on the red to the yellow pocket, and if he doesn't get perfectly on it, it's an easy snooker. Wow. It's still on the snooker. He obviously played, the pace he played it, he was trying to develop
50.
the red, but that was risky.
Shaun Murphy, 50.
It was a good visit to the table from Shaun Murphy, considering what's happened to him in the frame before. The first half of this frame. He's taking control of this frame now. Good marking. Get another one, hit the red and get it safe. Yeah, pretty good. Caught the red just a little bit too thin. This red is now potable. Mark King plays a shot to nothing. A touch of run inside, left hand side to bring that cue ball back down this end of the table. Nice pot. Very nice pot.
One.
No prizes for guessing what's happening here, Phil.
Well, there's no value potting the pink, so it's in behind the black, surely.
Mark King, 1.
There might have been value in playing a snooker, just knocking the pink into the open, leaving the cue ball where virtually where the pink is. That would have snookered Shaun also, and brought the pink into the open. Mark King obviously needs it. You're under pressure, you don't want a tricky pink along the cushion.
Contact made, yellow not left, but King still in command tactically.
Thanks.
Well, that's a blunder. Hence the expression, pained expression. It was like a hand of poker where King was seemingly in command and then someone plucks one off the river you won't believe. Everything's turned around.
Foul, the miss. Shaun Murphy, 4. Mark, Shaun. Foul, the miss. Shaun Murphy, 5. Wasn't on its spot, was it? Foul, the miss. Shaun Murphy 4.
Well, 2 more. And you need a snooker.
Also in our pre-match chat, Shaun Murphy was saying he's not a great fan of the miss rule. Well, here, I think he would be. In the end, though, apart from the penalty points, no damage done.
Just lining up, he's going to play yellow onto pink here. It's well played. I was going to say, Phil, Shaun's 21 in front, but you fear for him again in this type of frame. He's giving Mark King an opportunity. You screw this cue ball around off 2 cushions, the green into its own pocket. There's a good cue in. Or he's just dropping him a touch of check side. Nice little 2 cushion route. Is it hard enough?
2.
It's pretty good. Play for the brown is the same pocket.
Well, he needs the lot, but they're all there. What a blow this would be for Murphy. What a blow.
You just cannot get the better of Mark King when it gets to the end of these frames. Well,
Mark
Shaun's
King,
smiling at Mark
2.
because he knows he's snookered, but Shaun, you'd much rather he's missed that green than potted it in the perfect position to clear up. I know that's not how a snooker player thinks at the time, but you have to try and think that way. It's very difficult. He's just got to be happy you're back at the table. Yeah, we all get a touch of the why-me's when we're in the middle of it, but look at the result now.
Murphy, with the 3 points from the green, would be 22 ahead. 22 on.
I think just dolly the green to the left-hand side cushion for the cue ball, and this black cushion, I think. Just get the green safe. There's no value in taking the pot on, really. And if you try and play any sort of aggressive safety, the double kisses are on, so you can just flick that green to the left side cushion.
3.
I think the only word we can use is crazy. What a crazy sport we play.
Seven.
Perfect on the brown. And these last 2 frames, when we've got to the colours, it's been comical.
The worst thing for King, he can't moan. Wow.
18. And the frame.
First 4 frames have been played and they've been shared. It is an absolute slugfest. 2-2.
Yes. Says though, a bit of a slugfest, this one, Neil.
It really is. It's an unusual sort of match. It's been very stop-start. Neither player's got into their flow. I mean, you look at Mark King there, and he's quite suited to this sort of scrappy nature of a game. I'm not trying to do him down because he's a good player. He's won a ranking tournament. That's why he's here. But if it stays in this way, he's got a better chance than if the balls stay open, which probably would favour Shaun, who's a more free-flowing scorer.
Yeah, it's been a comedy of errors, isn't it? But there's not been a lot funny about it, in all honesty. It's been a struggle, as the guys have been saying in the box. And the match goes on. It's now best of 3. You've just got to reboot and get on with it. I'm sure they both will. They're both experienced enough.
Mark King must be looking at this match and thinking the snooker gods are shining down on him because he's had the rub of the green, hasn't he?
Well, at the end of frame 3, there was some outrageous form which has gone his way, and you need to take it when it comes. It's been that kind of a match, and I think in the end you'd like to think it will even out. But everything to play for. This is a big 3 frames for these 2 guys.
OK, it's 2-all, 3 to play. Let's get back to the action.
Thank you. Frame 5. Shaun Murphy to break.
I think it's fair to say you wouldn't want every match you watch to be like this, but it's had a certain compelling quality. Apart from the second frame, which Murphy ran through with breaks of 44 and 78, they've all been real tussles with lots of incident.
First shot, brown and black out of commission. Shaun Murphy tempted to screw this cue ball back to the cushion, open his reds up. Yep. Was hoping for possibly release the black, but it's not happened. But he needs to play those more aggressive safety shots. Try and get in early. That's amazing. It's been 2 or 3 shots. There's 5 colours now fell off their spot.
And as I said before, regardless of who wins now, the beneficiary, you would think, is young Michael White. He's had a rest. Whereas these 2, whoever comes through, will need to dig deep for stamina. Now that was bold, but it was also asking an awful lot.
Yeah, I think that Shaun. When Shaun played the shot, he's just desperate to get in early in the frame, but he left an opportunity for Mark, and wow, he missed that by a mile.
Yes, the last frame went on for so long there. I was about to say, maybe they've both knocked themselves out of rhythm, but Murphy's got a chance now. We must recall in the 4th frame, King was 41-0 ahead, right in amongst them to take a 3-1 lead and missed the most simple of pinks.
4. Ten. $11.
Well, if ever there was a time we wanted to win a frame in one visit, this was it. I think Shaun wants it to be 3-2 down. Struggle to get into that final.
$16. $17.
It's hard to see where it can go wrong in not winning the frame in one visit, but there's pressure out there now.
22.
Pressure on himself to get this frame won quickly.
$23.
And that's probably the biggest pressure of all when you put it on yourself to do it.
$28. $29. $34. Thanks. 35.
This blue goes in, and it will mean that Murphy has been responsible for the 4 highest breaks of the match.
Little cannon on the 2 reds to the right of the 5 would be nice here. He's missed it. He's missed it. Didn't get into cue ball enough.
40.
That one cannon would have won this frame.
Shaun Murphy, 40.
Well, he's been lucky there. Not left the red. Not left any red.
Thanks. One.
Deserved applause for that one. Cued really nicely. When your hand's on the back of the pocket like that, it's really uncomfortable. Just get the feeling, Stephen, that King is running out of steam.
6.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his highest break, it's only 35, so as we mentioned at the start of the match, he's not a dominant scorer. What he does, he just scraps very well. But if he starts missing, then he's really going to struggle. So he had great form winning the set, the third frame. But he had first chance in this frame. That's a fairly comfortable red to the green pocket. And yeah, he just seems to be fading
7.
a bit when we get to the finishing line.
$13. 40.
Another good pot. Not a big target to aim for there. And this is frame ball.
20. Thank you. 21.
Shaun Murphy's rest statistics. He's tried to pot 7 balls with the rest. He's potted 7. 100% success rate.
$27. 28.
Well, Shaun Murphy dominated the second frame, and he's
33.
monopolised this one.
34. $40. 41. 46. Yep. 46 and the frame.
Breaks of
Shaun
40 and 46. Shaun Murphy wins the frame nicely, and he hits the front for the first time in the match. The former world champion leads Mark King by a score of 3 frames to 2. Of champions. This the second first round match. Today, Michael White already through. He beat Marco Fu 4-3 earlier this afternoon. Much earlier because this one has been a really lengthy affair. The first frame, 41 minutes. The third, 43 minutes. The fourth, 34 minutes.
Thank you. Frame 6. Mark King to break.
So the afternoon is going to merge into the evening here. The theme sung, the Beatles. It's been a hard day's night.
Yeah, whoever wins this match is not going to have long before they have to come back out tonight, but it's a nice problem to have. They'd much rather that than be in their car going down the motorway, going back home. You'd have to say Shaun is a heavy, heavy favourite to win this match now. You're going to think he's going to get chances. Can't see Mark King freezing him out for 2 frames. Looks like he's winding himself up to take this red on down the cushion. He could play it, as there is a safety shot, and if he plays cushion first, hits the ball, the red ball, half ball with right hand side, he can get the cue ball back up to the baulk here. Yep, there it is. Oh, he's just unlucky. Just need a slightly thicker contact on the red. This isn't a gimme, this first red. Just a bit of movement in his eye line. Back up. Just added a little bit more pressure to this shot now. Well done. Struck it positively.
1.
I think he thinks he got a slightly fast bounce there, but he's still nicely on the black.
Eight. 9. Can you just go to the side, please?
I think the mover has moved again. And he used all of the pocket there.
$16. 17.
Couple of ways he can play this. He can screw off the black cushion, left side cushion for a choice of maybe 2 reds to the right corner, or he can play it with left hand side. Just a drop for a red to left corner. Choosing the first option. Played it well. As we say, his highest break in the match so far, only 35.
24.
If they ever wanted a frame winning contribution, this was it.
$25.
If you want to go into the bunch, if he takes the cue ball in between the pink and the red to the right of the pink, through that gap, it's bound to be on something. Find that gap. He's played for a loose red, he's played for an exact positional shot. Is the cue ball going to stop?
30.
Got to look at the body language first of the player, and first appearances say that he's not on that red. Or is he?
$31.
Good shot. Red pots to right middle.
38. $39.
Well, every credit to Mark King for this. Timely effort.
45.
When he was described as the Romford battler coming into the arena by MC Brett Hollywood, that was right on the button. That's what he is, a battler.
$46.
Well, we've seen he almost missed that red, and that's why he's finished straight on the black. You have to screw this cue ball the right hand side cushion with lots of left hand side to go up for the red that's in the bulk area. Don't think there's anything in the bunch that pots. Playing topspin, 2 cushions into the pack. Well, that shows you what he wanted to happen. But it was going to take some shot to
53.
do that.
Well, the break isn't decisive, but it's a very healthy platform.
Mark King, 53.
Well, it's a decent lead, but Shaun Murphy will be still hopeful for this frame. And one of the main reasons because every single colour's in the open. You're kidding me. You are kidding me.
Foul. Mark King, 4.
Alright, cue ball. Cannot go anywhere near that pocket. Very careless, Shaun Murphy. Handed this frame on a platter to Mark King now.
One.
Cardinalson. An anywhere but there shot. As was that.
Six. Mark King, 6.
King 63 in front, but 83 still there. So it was prudent of him to put a red safe. But really the frame should have been over. Cut and dried by now.
What a tester this is now for Shaun Murphy. Black goes to left corner. This is one of his specialties. Pretty close. Hit a little bit harder than what he normally would. Normally strokes them in, but obviously the pressure just makes you sometimes just hit that a bit harder than you mean to. I presume none of these reds go to the left middle. Surely Mark King would have got down and played one by now.
Exact opposite.
I'll be surprised if Mark King takes this red on to the right middle. Fraught with danger. Yeah, raising the butt of the cue ball coming back to the baulk cushion. Just have to be careful with a double kiss for this shot. Yeah, well done. Possibly the red that's closest to the right middle pocket. He'll play this to the right corner and play it with safety, bring the cue ball back up to the baulk end.
wasn't happy with that as the cue ball was going back down the table, but in the end it's not too destructive. Far from it.
Well, the red that Shaun's looking at, in practice you stun across, cannon the 2 reds to the left of the black and hopefully leave yourself on the black. Does he play it here? He does. What a shot. He doesn't want the other red to go in.
2.
It's okay, he can still win, but that's 8 points off the table. But what an aggressive shot he played there. I think for one split second, Phil, he thought that he couldn't win when that other red went in.
6. 7.
At this year's World Championship in the first round, he beat the highly talented Chinese teenager Yan Bingtao 10-8 with a really good clearance in the clinching frame. He would love to do something similar here, but that's not the best.
Oh, I'd love to have that one back again.
40.
That was very heavy touch there. I think he's going to take one of these reds on. I don't think he's in any mood to play safety in this instance. This will be frame over, I think, if he misses this. The speed he's going to play it. Good shot. Good recovery.
15.
Good chance, this.
Okay. 22. 23.
This is what these top players, that's what they do. They seize an opportunity to win the match and take it.
Just
looking at the scoreboard, plenty of room for margin. Doesn't need to concentrate on blacks or pinks. Just needs to clear the table, basically.
31.
That cue ball to stop. And again, just in time. We'll pot this red. Stun up for the blue, I would suggest.
36.
Well, the scoreboard would suggest otherwise, but Murphy's favourite right now. And the old reliable rest
37.
never seems to fail.
Mark King will be sitting there thinking about that chance he had when Shaun went in off. He'd have already had a 50-odd point lead, cue ball in
42.
hand, and only scored 6.
44. 47.
And how strange snooker is. We were talking about going into the evening feeling maybe a little flat. If he clears up here, Murphy, he'll
51.
go into the quarter-final against Michael White with a real momentum.
$56.
Taking these very well, has to be said.
62.
Mark King can't complain about a lack of chances in frame 6. He should have won it. In the end, though, Murphy reserved his best of the match for last when it counted for most. Fantastic stuff. A 69 clearance, and with that he completes a 4-2 victory over Mark King.